And you heard from Mayor Bloomberg and Brian's story. Back here in the tri-state, local officials throughout are staying on top of the latest information from intelligence sources, but they're also urging European travelers to be extra aware of their surroundings. Glenn Zimmerman is standing by live at Kennedy Airport. He talked to travelers today. Glenn?
How you doing, David? Good evening, everyone. Yes, when we've spoken to travelers here, what they've told us repeatedly is they've heard of the alert, they are aware, and they are prepared. You know, speaking with one official, and there's an alert that is going to stay in place for several months. He is a high-ranking official with a high degree of intelligence clearance.
There's no doubt that this is a serious situation.
Representative Peter King, a ranking member on the Congressional Committee on Homeland Security, told me he's heard about the potential for these Mumbai-style commando attacks for weeks, but it's only become necessary to go public with the information now.
I would say it's highly likely that they intend to do it. Whether or not they will do it, we don't know.
He said travelers should be especially vigilant who are going to Germany, France, and England. We spoke with passengers who were about to fly to London. Everyone had a very similar reaction to the travel alert.
Just make sure you keep your eyes open and stay alert.
Not changing anything from your plan?
Not at all.
Well, I think it's part of our life now, and so one's used to it, and one doesn't get overexcited about it.
Senator Chuck Schumer seemed to echo those thoughts.
It is an alert, not a warning. An alert means be careful when you go, but they are not advising you not to go.
We also caught up with Commissioner Kelly, who added his perspective before marching in the Pulaski Day Parade.
No, there's no specific threat directed at New York. We can't just look at Europe alone. We've changed some of our tactics and strategies, as we do on a regular basis.
Commissioner Kelly would not elaborate what those changes would be. Representative Peter King did tell me there are no credible threats right now in the U.S. He said while these threats do seem to be based or at least focused more in Germany, France, and England, he said all European nations are certainly on alert right now. We are live here at Kennedy Airport. I'm Glenn Zimmerman, News 4 New York.
Joining us now to talk more about this new terror alert is New York Republican Congressman Peter King, the ranking member on the Committee on Homeland Security. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Congressman,
Very welcome, Phil. Thank you.
Congressman, can you give us any specifics on what form these potential terror attacks could take?
Well, we first became aware of the possibility of these attacks about 2 months ago, and quite frankly, we expect it to be somewhat similar to Mumbai, where there were automatic weapons used, grenades, that type thing, probably focusing on largely populated locations such as a train station, a hotel, that type thing, which could create mass chaos and confusion. The good news is that working very closely with our allies, we've had 2 months, 2.5 months to prepare for this, to do what can be done. But still, I understand why they put out the terror alert. I think it was the right thing to do. And we are as prepared as we can be, but the fact is that we don't know exactly what's going to happen, where it's going to happen, but we do a general idea of what their plans are.
So, Congressman, can you talk about the timing of issuing the alert? There was some speculation that it might have something to do with the latest audio tape released by Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I don't think there's any one particular reason. Obviously, the audio tapes of bin Laden mean something because in the past, it's felt that they've been used to trigger attacks or to send signals to his operatives that are out in the field. Also, because this investigation has become so intense over the last several months, the overseas authorities and ourselves have become more aware of details and particulars, and it was felt that the accumulation of information and knowledge we have right now prompted this alert to be given. If you notice, in the last several weeks, the British have increased their terror alert. The French have carried out raids in Paris. And so this is not coming to a head, but it certainly is further along than it was. And we know now almost definitely that it is for real. For the last several months, there was always the possibility that maybe this was not a hoax, but it was aspirational rather than real. Right now, the feeling is that this is very close to being real, and that's why the alert warning was given.
And Congressman, one last quick question. This alert focuses on Europe. The U.S. is not included. What about potential targets in this country?
I'm not aware of any specific intelligence linking this to the United States. Having said that, we have to realize the United States is always the #1 target of al-Qaeda, and New York City is the #1 target in our country. Thank God we have Ray Kelly, Mayor Bloomberg, the NYPD, who do a phenomenal job. And as Mayor Bloomberg said before, New York City is always on a high alert, and probably even now some more than ever, because Commissioner Kelly does have his own police officers overseas who are also working very closely with our allies on this matter.
Congressman, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Officials are asking U.S. citizens to be vigilant, careful, and aware, especially in places like airports and tourist spots. The warning comes amid reports that terrorists may be planning strikes in Europe. Marvin Scott is here right now tonight with the details. Marvin?
We have had terror alerts before, but there is an urgency to this one because intelligence operatives have been tuned into extremist chatter which suggests some kind of attack could be imminent. Not in this country, but in Europe. And that has prompted the State Department today to put out a travel advisory to Americans to be extra vigilant while traveling abroad. The intelligence community has been aware of the terror threat against targets in Europe since midsummer, but recent developments have led authorities to believe extremists are now ready to launch their attack, which is said to have the blessing of Osama bin Laden, whose statements in recent days are a further cause for concerns.
We're always concerned that any announcement by bin Laden on something that seems innocuous could actually be a signal or a trigger.
Peter King is the ranking Republican on the House Homeland Security Committee. He feels al-Qaeda's failure to pull off another major attack in the U.S. may be prompting smaller-scale assaults on soft targets, similar to what happened 2 years ago in Mumbai, when a band of extremists hit high-profile locations frequented by Westerners. 175 people were killed.
It would be soft targets in places like London or Paris, museums, airports, train stations, hotels.
The State Department advisory stopped short of telling Americans not to travel to Europe. Passengers heading overseas from Newark's Liberty International Airport had no intentions of changing their plans.
If they came back and said, we prefer you not traveling, or something more than just being diligent to saying, we have a lot more activity.
I made the arrangements 6 months ago. It would probably take an incident of some sort where there was real danger.
Because you only live once. I mean, what are you going to do? I can't let those people terrorize me.
There is no suggestion that the U.S. or New York are intended targets under this threat.
No specific threat directed at New York.
Any advice for people?
Go about your business. Enjoy New York.
Congressman King said nobody wants to sound alarmist, but it would be prudent for people to heed this latest warning.
Oh, this is a very serious threat. This is for real. I mean, this is a real threat against Europe. From all the information we have, it's very real.
The immediacy of the threat is indicated by the release of the State Department's travel advisory, something that is considered highly unusual. The advisory, however, does not name any potential targets, and it should be pointed out that it's not coincidental that there has been a recent increase in those drone attacks against al-Qaeda targets. It's all part of the operation aimed at attempting to paralyze the would-be attackers. Important to stay vigilant.
Absolutely, and some of those drone bombs are landing in Pakistan. The Pakistani government has complained in some cases vociferously about that. To point it out again, the State Department is not saying don't.
Not stopping short of that. They're saying just be extremely vigilant wherever you're traveling. France, Britain, Germany, and those countries also are cooperating with U.S. authorities as well.
So go, but watch your back.
Yes,
all right,
absolutely.
All right, meanwhile, the State Department's travel alert for Americans traveling overseas, it's based on a threat that was credible but not very specific. However, the intelligence suggests that attacks are being planned similar to those in Madrid, London, and Mumbai on mass transit and other key tourist destinations. Joining us on the phone with details on this intelligence information is Republican Congressman Peter King, a ranking member of the Committee on Homeland Security. And in studio, we are joined by security expert Sal Lifieri, who can give us specific tips that travelers can take to stay safe overseas. Congressman King, let's start with you. The State Department knew about these possible problems. Why now? Why are they coming out now with this terror alert?
Yeah, it's been known for, I'd say, approximately 2 months that these attacks were possible. It takes that long, quite frankly, to track them down, to see if it's credible, see if it's real, see what the likelihood is of being carried out. And it's just a number of events coming together, which is known to the intelligence community. They decided this was the appropriate time to let travelers know. Now, there's no guarantee that the attack is going to happen, but it reached a tipping point where it was decided that with all the evidence available and with the British taking some action and the French actually carrying out some raids last week, that it was necessary to let Americans know that the possibility is there of an attack, and it would be, from what we can gather, a Mumbai-type attack with small weapons, automatic weapons, grenades, that type of thing, at large, at areas where large numbers of the tourists would congregate.
Congressman, let me ask you something. If someone is thinking about traveling abroad right now, or they have their kids in school abroad right now, what's your suggestion? Should they come back? Should you cancel your plans?
You know, I would leave it up to them. I mean, right now there is not evidence that this attack is imminent, but it is possible. You know, this is the dangerous world in which we live. There is no easy answer, and it was decided by the State Department, and I agree with it, is that to let Americans know what the possibilities are. But, you know, this is the world we live in. It's a very dangerous world, but right now it's a little more dangerous. And also it does let Americans know if they are over there to keep their eyes open, keep their ears open. If they see something, say something. And also if they are asked or told by security or police or law enforcement to do something, do it. Don't be complaining. Just do what you're told.
Well, let me ask you something. This is kind of like Congressman, this is kind of like a spoiler alert. We know what kind of world we live in right now. But, you know, you send out this frightening message and then you say, oh, you can still go. Just be careful. Well, that's what we've been doing for years since 9/11.
But it's at a higher level. Just like the New York City Police Department is always on high alert, but sometimes it goes to a higher alert. But this is, I think it's important for people to know that while there's always threats, the threats right now are much more credible than they've been. There is a real reason to believe that these attacks could happen. There's no evidence it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's you know, we let people make that decision, because think how people would react if they did go and the attack happened and they weren't told. So basically, it's to let people make that decision for themselves.
I understand that. Okay, we have a security expert with us. Sal, if you're thinking about traveling abroad, if your kids are studying overseas, what advice do you have for them right now?
Well,
specific.
I think, like the Congressman said, you have to be hyper-vigilant. You have to be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing when you're overseas, just as you would be if you were within the United States.
I mean, should we stay away from major tourist attractions, you know?
Well, all of the information that we're getting from the government is saying at this point that travel is okay, we should go. What we should do is, while we're overseas, specifically with relate to this, is just practice some safe security or some safe postures that you should have.
Like what, Sal?
Things like, if you're going to be overseas, know how to make a call to 911. Know what that local 911 number is. Have the coins available to be able to put into the phone and activate the system. If you're in a hotel, understand that not all of the stations are transmitting or broadcasting in English. So understand what station you need to turn to so that you can listen to local jurisdictions tell you, what to do or how to react to a potential attack.
Gotcha. Sal Fieri, security expert. Congressman Peter King, thank you so much for joining us. Any last advice for people listening right now?
Just, go on with their lives. If they are going to make the trip, be careful. And we can't give in to the terrorists. And thank God that we're here in New York with the NYPD and the Joint Terrorism Task Force doing all they can to protect us, and they will.
Congressman King, thanks so much. Sal, thank you.